Welcome back, everyone, to today's Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here because we are watching a fascinating shift happen right in front of us. If you've been plugged into the tech ecosystem recently, you've probably felt a subtle tremor. Well, today we're unpacking exactly what that is. The era of unrestricted, unlimited AI? Yeah. It's officially over. As we dive into the Tech Digest for late June 2026, we're seeing the industry aggressively pivot away from the hype and personality drama straight toward hard economics, massive scale, and structural friction. So, let's map it all out.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today. We're heading the AI coding race, the end of unlimited AI, China's domestic AI push, and wrapping it all up with some quick hits from around the AI world.
Section 1. The AI coding race, capability gaps over personality drama. Let's get right into it.
If you just read the headlines, it's super easy to get swept up in the whole talent war narrative. But look closely at Google DeepMind. They just expanded a brand new AI coding strike team, and it's all about one specific thing: mid-training. This is that absolutely critical development phase right between the initial massive pre-training and the final instruction tuning. Google put heavy hitters like Sergey Brin and Corey Cavukoglu on this exact phase under Sebastian Borjo. Why? Because they're basically signaling that their gap in coding models goes all the way down to how the models are actually built, not just the consumer packaging. Now, this reorganization comes hot on the heels of some massive departures since February. We saw Denny Zhu head to Meta and Noam Shazer to OpenAI. And Anthropic? They scooped up Jonas Adler, Alexander Pritzel, and John Jumper, who, by the way, just shared the 2024 Nobel Prize in Chemistry. Now, it's tempting to spin this as some dramatic corporate rivalry, but honestly, it's just standard industry recruiting dynamics. Top talent is simply chasing those massive pre-IPO equity windows that are currently wide open at Anthropic and OpenAI.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly why Google stood up that strike team in the first place. Google's CFO reported that AI is writing about 50% of their internal code. But Anthropic? They're citing close to 100% for internal development. If you're managing a massive dev team, this is literally the only metric you should care about right now. It is a massive capability gap, and Google is completely restructuring to close it.
Moving right along to Section 2, the end of unlimited AI. The reality of metered economics is hitting hard. So, all that AI-generated code we were just talking about, it comes with a very literal compute cost. 1,000 times. GitHub's own research recently showed that autonomous, agentic coding tasks consume roughly 1,000 times more tokens than your standard single-turn query. Just pause for a second and think about the sheer compute power required for a leap like that.
So what happens when the bill actually comes due? Well, on June 30th, GitHub closed its first billing cycle under their new metered system. The Pro and Pro Plus base subscriptions stayed flat at $10 and $39, but the shift to metered AI credits for agent mode and chat, absolute sticker shock across developer forums. We're seeing projections where heavy users go from a flat $50 to $3,000 a month. So yeah, someone is definitely getting an angry call from the finance department today. This completely flips the dynamic. The big enterprise question isn't just a simple binary, hey, do we have Copilot anymore? Now it's, how much AI work are we actually buying? This formalizes an industry-wide transition straight into cloud compute economics. And honestly, it makes those predictable, flat-rate models, like what Claude Code has maintained, look incredibly attractive to budget-conscious engineering teams right now. The days of all-you-can-eat AI for a flat fee are over for sure.
Let's pivot to Section 3, China's domestic AI push, the hardware bottleneck test.
Shifting gears from software economics over to the physical hardware realm. Beijing-based Meituan just dropped Longcat 2.0 on June 30th, and the sheer scale of this open-source release is wild. We are talking about a 1.6 trillion parameter mixture of experts model, a 1 million token context window activating between 33 and 56 billion parameters per token. Oh, and they claim benchmark performance comparable to Google's Gemini 3.1 Pro. This thing is purpose-built for those massive, repository-level agentic coding tasks.
Now, what's really interesting about this is the hardware claim backing it up. Meituan says Longcat 2.0 completed both pre-training and inference entirely on domestic Chinese hardware. Just for context, DeepSeek V4 Pro used domestic chips for inference only. Pre-training is vastly more computationally demanding. So, if this is accurate, it is a massive leap forward without relying on NVIDIA.
To actually pull this off, Meituan reportedly clustered 50,000 domestic chips. These are widely associated with Huawei's Atlas 950 SuperPods.
I mean, think about the headache of just networking a home office, and then try to imagine synchronizing 50,000 accelerators without NVIDIA's mature software ecosystem holding the whole shebang together. It's a staggering engineering undertaking. Which brings us to our really insightful point from tech writer Aaron Rose. He noted, if it holds up under outside benchmarking, it's a meaningful data point on whether export controls are actually working as a bottleneck or just adding cost and friction. We do need to be clear and impartial here. Independent verification of both those benchmarks and the training hardware is still pending. Even Meituan admits their software ecosystem still lags behind NVIDIA's. But if verified, it's a huge structural shift in the global compute landscape.
All right, wrapping things up with Section 4 AI World Quick Hits. Let's run through the June 2026 updates.
Let's do a rapid-fire check on the Frontier Labs. Over at Anthropic, Mythos 5 is partially restored for U.S. critical infrastructure, but everyday users still locked out of Fable 5 on day 18. Opus 4.8 is the default right now, and keep an eye out for their big privacy policy shift coming July 8th. OpenAI, GPT 5.6 is still in a government-gated preview, aiming for general availability in July, while regular ChatGPT just casually blew past 900 million weekly active users. Meanwhile, Google has deferred Gemini 3.5 Pro's general availability to July.
On the business and infrastructure side, the sheer volume of capital moving around is mind-blowing. SPCX is trading at around $164, right ahead of its July 7th NASDAQ 100 inclusion, and they've still got Charter Mobile talks ongoing. Meta is absolutely not flinching on hardware. They are holding their 2026 CAPEX steady at a massive $125 to $145 billion, even post-reorganization. And over in the sovereign AI space, Cohere and Aleph Alpha's $20 billion merger is officially under regulatory review.
Speaking of massive numbers, let's look at this one. $7.8 million. That is the approximate price tag for just one, yes, one of NVIDIA's Vera Rubin VR200 rack configurations. So if you were thinking of putting one of those in your garage, maybe hold off. For hyperscalers preparing for the second half of 2026, though, this is literally just table stakes to stay in the game.
Which leaves us with this final, really provocative thought. As AI aggressively transitions to metered economics and we see the massive rise of domestic silicon, who is actually going to dominate this next era of compute? Will the hyperscalers just pull further away from the pack, or will these new hardware realities kind of level the playing field? The systems are shifting fast, and it's a giant puzzle we're going to keep piecing together. Thanks so much for tuning in, keep learning, and I will see you on the next explainer.